The Story King presents a tale of fate, rejection, and destined love. "You're nothing," he said, marking my sister instead, until the Lycan Emperor scented me across the hall. The scent of jasmine and blood hung heavy in the ceremonial hall, and I knew, with the certainty that comes from a lifetime of being invisible, that tonight would destroy me. My sister Celeste stood at the altar in a gown that caught the moonlight like captured starfire, her golden hair cascading down her back in waves that had taken 3 servants' hours to perfect. She was radiant, she was chosen, she was everything I would never be. And Demon Blackthorn, Alpha of the Northern Territories, couldn't take his eyes off her. I pressed myself against the marble pillar, trying to become stone, trying to disappear the way I'd learned to do since childhood. The ceremonial hall was packed with every notable wolf in the region, all here to witness the marking ceremony. But I shouldn't have been here at all. Aria, my mother's sharp whisper cut through my thoughts. Her perfectly manicured nails dug into my arm as she yanked me further behind the pillar. "What did I tell you about being seen? If you embarrass your sister on her night, I won't," I whispered back, hating how small my voice sounded. "I just wanted to see." "See what?" "See the future you'll never have." Her laugh was bitter. "You're wolfless, Aria, a defect. The least you can do is let your sister have this moment without your presence tainting it." The words shouldn't have hurt anymore. I'd heard variations of them my entire life. Born to one of the most prestigious families in the pack, I should have shifted on my 16th birthday like every other wolf. Instead, I'd felt nothing. No transformation, no connection to the primal force that ran through my bloodline. Just silence. My father had tried to hide his disappointment. My mother had stopped trying after the first year. And Celeste, beautiful, perfect Celeste, had simply stepped into the role meant for the eldest daughter, claiming every privilege, every opportunity, every dream that should have been mine. Including Demon Blackthorn. The Alpha was even more imposing in person than the rumors suggested. He stood well over 6 feet, with dark hair that brushed his collar and eyes like molten silver that seemed to catalogue every person in the room as potential threat or ally. Power radiated from him in waves that made even the strongest wolves in attendance lower their gazes. He was only 26, but he'd already consolidated 3 territories under his rule and survived 2 assassination attempts. They called him the Iron Alpha, the Merciless, the Unbreakable, and in 3 minutes, he would mark my sister as his mate. "Let us begin," the elder intoned, raising his staff. The crowd fell silent. I should have looked away, should have slipped out the side entrance before the ceremony concluded. But I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't do anything but watch as Demon took Celeste's hand. "Do you, Celeste Silvermoon, accept this mark as?" Demon went rigid. It was subtle, just a slight stiffening of his shoulders, but I saw it. His head turned, those silver eyes sweeping across the crowd with sudden, predatory focus. His nostrils flared. He was scenting something. "Alpha," the elder's voice carried a note of concern. "Is something." "Wait." Demon's voice was a low rumble that silenced the entire hall. He released Celeste's hand, taking a step toward the crowd. Then another. His gaze swept left, then right, searching. Hunting. My mother's nails dug deeper into my arm. "Don't move," she hissed. But it was too late. Those silver eyes locked onto mine, and the world tilted on its axis. Demon moved through the crowd like a force of nature, wolves stumbling aside to clear his path. Each step was deliberate, purposeful, bringing him closer to my pillar, closer to me, until he stood close enough that I could see the flecks of gold in his silver irises. Close enough that I could smell cedar and winter storms and something wild that made my heart hammer against my ribs. "You," he breathed, and the single word carried the weight of destiny. Behind him, Celeste's face had gone white. "Demon, what are you doing?" He didn't turn, didn't acknowledge her. His entire focus was fixed on me with an intensity that should have been terrifying but instead felt like recognition. "What's your name?" His voice was softer now, but no less commanding. My throat had gone dry. Aria, Aria Silvermoon, Aria. He repeated it like a prayer, like a curse, like a promise. Then his eyes narrowed. Why can't I feel your wolf? The question sent a ripple of whispers through the nearby crowd. My mother stepped forward, her smile sharp and political. Alpha Blackthorn, please forgive the interruption. This is my younger daughter. She's not quite well. Wolfless, I'm afraid. An unfortunate defect in our otherwise sterling bloodline. She shouldn't be here at all. Wolfless. Something dangerous flashed in Demon's eyes. He stepped closer, and I found myself backed against the pillar with nowhere to go. That's impossible. I assure you, it's quite. You don't understand. He cut my mother off without looking at her, his gaze still locked on mine. He raised one hand, slowly, giving me time to pull away. When I didn't, when I couldn't, his fingers brushed my cheek with devastating gentleness. The touch sent electricity racing down my spine. I've traveled across 4 territories to honor this alliance, Demon said quietly, his thumb tracing my jawline. I've met thousands of wolves. Strong wolves. Powerful wolves. Wolves from the most prestigious bloodlines. His hand slid down to cup my chin, tilting my face up to meet his eyes. And not one of them called to me the way you do right now. That's ridiculous. Celeste's voice cracked through the moment like breaking glass. She pushed through the crowd, her beautiful face twisted with fury. She's nothing, Demon. A defect. A mistake. You're here for me. We have an arrangement. The arrangement, Demon said, finally turning to face her, was for me to choose a mate from the Silvermoon family. His expression was cold, remote, the warmth I'd glimpsed seconds ago completely vanished. I'm choosing Aria. The hall erupted. Wolves surged forward, voices raised in shock and protest. My father appeared from somewhere in the chaos, his face purple with rage or embarrassment or both. The elder was calling for order, his staff thumping uselessly against the marble floor. And through it all, Demon stood like a mountain, unmoved and unmovable, one hand still cradling my face. This is insane, my mother shrieked. She can't even shift. She has no wolf. How can she be your mate? I don't know. Demon's admission was quiet, meant only for me. His silver eyes searched mine, and I saw something vulnerable flash across his features. But the moment I caught your scent, he leaned closer, his breath warm against my ear. It was like every missing piece I didn't know I'd lost suddenly fell into place. You're making a mistake, Celeste sobbed. She's inferior, broken. Everyone knows it. Everyone's wrong. Demon's voice dropped to a growl that made several nearby wolves instinctively back away. When he looked at Celeste, there was no mercy in his expression. You're beautiful, Celeste. Poised. Everything an alpha's mate should be on paper. His gaze slid back to me, and his expression softened impossibly. But, she's mine. The Emperor, someone whispered from the crowd. The Lycan Emperor just arrived. The massive doors at the hall's entrance swung open, and a figure stepped through that made even Demon look small. The Lycan Emperor was ancient and powerful, his presence filling the room like gathering thunder. When he spoke, his voice resonated with command. I felt a true mate bond snap into place. His eyes, gold and ageless, swept across the hall before landing on Demon and me. A slow smile crossed his weathered features. Ah, there it is, the rarest of bonds, a fated pairing. He moved closer, and wolves parted before him like water. You cannot feel your wolf, child. I shook my head, not trusting my voice. Perhaps, the Emperor mused, because it was waiting for the right catalyst to wake it. He gestured to Demon, an alpha of his caliber, a true mate bond, that might be enough to call forth even the most dormant wolf. Demon's hand tightened on my face. What are you saying? I'm saying you should complete the bond. The Emperor's smile widened. Mark her. Let's see what happens. This is absurd. My father finally found his voice. We had an agreement. Celeste is the eldest, the heir. Celeste is not his fated mate. The Emperor's voice cracked like a whip. Would you deny destiny itself for political convenience? The hall fell silent. Demon turned back to me, his expression intense. Arya, I know this is overwhelming. I know we've only just met. But every instinct I have is screaming that you're mine. His thumb brushed across my lower lip, and I shivered. Will you accept my mark? I should have said no. Should have run. Should have done anything except stare up into those silver eyes and feel something deep inside me, something I'd thought dead or absent, begin to stir. Yes, I whispered. Demon's kiss was claiming, possessive, and achingly gentle all at once. When his teeth grazed my neck, I gasped, and then fire. It exploded through my veins, burning away everything I thought I knew about myself. I heard screaming, mine, and then Demon's arms were around me as my body began to change. Bones shifted, reformed. Silver fur erupted across my skin. The pain was exquisite and terrible and perfect. And when it finally faded, I stood on 4 legs for the first time in my life, staring up at my mate through new eyes. My wolf had finally woken. The hall erupted in shocked gasps, but I barely heard them. All I could focus on was Demon, who had shifted into the largest black wolf I'd ever seen, his silver eyes glowing with triumph and possession and something that looked remarkably like love. Mine, his voice echoed in my mind through our new bond. Always mine. As the Lycan Emperor laughed with delight and my family stood frozen in disbelief, I finally understood, I'd never been nothing. I'd just been waiting for someone powerful enough to see everything I truly was. Thank you for reading this tale from the Story King, where every story is a crown jewel of imagination.